Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jack Chang here, and today we're going to do yet another property review. It is Ativo Suites at Bandar Sri Damansara. So yes, Ativo Suites is part of this large 48 acres master development by TA Global. Yeah, so it's not just about this, but the later part of the video, towards the end of the video, I will show you how it really integrates into the larger development. Yeah, 48 acres, including this Ativo place just beside, thriving business center, yeah, commercial center. You got groceries, you even got a bank, which I'll review towards the end. But yes, going back to this Ativo Suites, this is actually the second component for this Damansara Avenue. And you got two towers, yeah, two blocks, you can see. 33 and 28 stories respectively, 668 units sitting on 2.83 acres of freehold land. Very nice. Immediately that catches your attention, right? This part here. Yeah, same for me. At night it's going to be lighted extremely nice. We will tour this towards the end, and you will be surprised what this is. Try to take a guess for you, those of you who are not staying here, right? What do you think this piece is? This piece here. This is gonna be, yeah, a real surprise at the end. Anyway, the largest unit, or the smallest unit, let's talk about the smallest unit. So, the smallest unit that we have here is actually a Type A, that's a studio unit, 499 square feet. And the largest is a Type F, 1,498 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, also a dual key unit. So, that is the unit that we are going to review. Yeah. Without further ado, just 2 in, 2 out. And even look at this, especially for Ativo Suites. Yeah, they don't use ugly cones. A lot of places use ugly cones, right? They use this. Look at that. Yes, let's head in. Let's go. Okay, so we have tagged in at the side. Yeah, 2 in, 2 out. This is the lobby for Block A. Block B is the other side. Look at that. Okay, before we head into the lobby, I just want to go through the car park, very quick one. And I want to show this part here, Little Explorers. So they actually have a proper business, a childcare center, yeah, within the development, and it's also open to public. So interestingly, at night, or rather it's, sorry, night, during the day, weekdays, people, you see in the morning, people drop their kids here. Yeah, so very convenient for those who are staying here. Yeah, you can drop, and it accepts as young as 3 months old. This itself also is extremely rare. Usually, childcare center will accept from 2 years above. That is the norm. 80%, 90%, 2 years above. 3 months after your confinement period is extremely rare. This is the car park, and what's interesting about this is they actually have EV charging. So we're going to go towards the EV charging. Okay, this is the EV charging. You got cars charging. This is by time, by the way. See, 4 bays here. Time, charge and go. Time, of course, is the leader when it comes to fixed broadband, fiber broadband. If you want to engage Time, right, actually you can reach out to them, get your management body, especially if you're living in an older condo, right, couple of years old. Reach out to Time, charge and go, because it's actually very cheap to install. As a matter of fact, what do I mean by cheap? It actually costs zero, yeah, to the management body or the developer or whoever it is. It's as good as free. They will come, install for you, free. And then, of course, you know, there's a certain business model whereby it's revenue, split revenue share with the management body. So yes, now let's head towards the lobby. So okay, we are going to go through Tower B instead because I wanted to show this. Yeah, so this is the entrance into the car park, and you also have a speed ramp directly into level 3. Yeah, can you see level 3? So you got speed ramp here also for this development, which is very convenient, directly to level 3. And the car park is not that high, to be honest. It's only up until level 6. Yeah, this is the lobby. So extremely nice. Look at that. So it gives you the hotel vibe. Yeah. And yes, security. So one of the nice things about this place, right, is that it uses technology. You've got facial recognition here. Essentially, if you are already recorded, you go there, it identifies your face. Of course, I'm not a resident or a tenant, but it will, once it identifies, it will open. And not just for this, right, actually at the entrance also, I forgot to mention, it actually has license plate recognition. So if you register already, when they scan in your car number plate, be it when you go in or go out, it will actually identify, and if it's inside, it will actually open. So you don't need a physical card. Of course, if it's not registered, you also can use your physical card. Okay, now let's go in. Let's head up. Okay, we are on level 2. So there's something interesting that I want to show before we head up to the unit to review, right? You got actually this extremely nice and unique bicycle and pet trolley station. So they specifically mentioned pet trolley station. How often do you have a pet trolley station? And all this, yeah, there's no charge. You can just put your bicycles. Of course, you have to lock it. You have to secure it yourself. But yes, it's interesting. So they promote a lot of self-sustainability, green movement where you cycle. Because this, again, this is just not a standalone development. Yeah, this is part of a larger integrated development, Damansara Avenue. Second floor also coming out, you can actually access the F&Bs. There's a lot of interesting F&Bs and also other businesses, and it's how it's intertwined. Okay, we'll go to that at the end of the video. But yes, this, okay? Let's head up again. Let's continue on towards the floor to review. Let's go. Stepping off the lift, we are on level 37. So this is the facilities floor, and also you have some units on this floor here. Yeah, so half of it here, this is basically the center, right? Usually for any other normal floors, you would have facilities here. But for this floor, it's only half of it. Half of it are units. You still have security to tag in, so you don't need to worry about the heavy traffic that's coming into this particular floor, right? For those who want to visit. Nice! Look at that. This is soft lighting. It's always on. And the unit that we're going to review is this unit. It's the biggest unit. And what I like about this particular layout, right? So they have an opening here, yeah, where you can get natural light coming in. Hence, this unit here that we're going to review is essentially like a bungalow unit, right? There's no connecting units to the side of it. It's already at the corner in, and on top of that, this side here, which is supposed to connect to a normal unit by its side, is a huge gap. Yeah. So this helps in sound reduction from the immediate neighbor. Okay, so this is the unit that we are going to review. This is a Type F, and the build-up is 1,498 square feet, 3 bedroom, 3 bathrooms, and also a dual key unit. So immediately you will notice this. You got a smart intercom for each and every unit. This is essentially the doorbell. You ring it, there's a camera, it calls the unit inside. Okay? Nice. This is so rare, and this basically sets the tone for the entire development. Even the units itself, the type of furnishing they give you, extremely generous. The developer for this. So you got your fire rated door, and once you enter here, this is where your foyer. You have your standalone unit here, your studio unit, and the main unit is here. Yeah. So you got a shoe cabinet here. Okay, let's check out this unit first. This is the studio unit that you can rent out separately. You got an electronic door lock by Samsung, and if you see this type of door handle type, right, it is high-end, it is expensive, plus biometric. So biometric card, of course you got your conventional pin. This is easily going for 2,000 to 3,000. Yeah, high-end stuff. Rarely do you have those with biometric, let alone a branded one like Samsung. Okay, nice. So this is supposed to be the kitchen area, your pantry, And I like it because it's so clean. Yeah? You might be thinking, where's the water inlet outlet, right? There. Nicely concealed. You know, they don't put that ugly wall inlet outlet, you know, and then they terminate it. This is so clean. And what I love most about having a studio unit in a dual key, they did it right, which is the DB is within this unit itself. A lot of dual key units, right? This DB is at the main unit, yeah. This unit, or they put it outside here. Outside here is okay. Inside here is really bad. Here is the best. And why? Because if there's electricity trip within this unit itself, this person staying here can reset it himself or herself. Doesn't need to wait for the main, you know, whoever who's staying in the main unit, especially if it's rented out, this person is not at home or they've gone for holiday, then you're in trouble. You also got smart one here, not just that unit, but this unit that is the standalone studio, you also have this. Yeah. Look at all this. Okay, let me talk about this. So you got your wardrobe here. Okay. Nice flooring. Looks like solid timber flooring. Built-in wardrobe. Very, very nice bathroom. Yeah. This gives you that hotel vibe. You got that see-through glass. If you don't like, right, and you're a bit conservative, you don't want people to see, especially if I don't know, you're going to invite guests over, you don't need to open. There's actually a simple solution to this. Of course, you can use the normal blinds, but besides the normal blinds, what you can do is you actually can install this tint called PDLC. And that PDLC stands for something liquid crystal. Yeah, I can't recall the exact term, but it's not that cheap. So essentially, with this film, this PDLC film, if there's no electricity, it will be opaque. Yeah, and if there's electricity, of course you need to connect to a power source, and when you switch it on, it will basically become transparent. So you don't have to worry if, let's say, there's no electricity, the default is opaque. Yeah, people can't see through. PDLC, check it out. You can even actually DIY it. Is available for purchase on online. Shopee and also the likes of Lazada. Okay. Oh, I'm going to be inside the. I don't know inside. Oops, sorry. This is a good thing about stabilizer. Look at that. So of course you got air guard here, branded, and this is to suck out the air because there's no windows here. And fittings again branded Roca. Yeah, Roca from Spain, Barcelona. Branded stuff. Rain shower from the top. And all this, of course, is also by Roca. So it's so sexy, you can see through. And again, if you're concerned with that, for whatever reasons, you can easily install PDLC tint. Yeah. Look at that. Nice. Okay, I'll talk about this aircon shortly. This is by Daikin, one of the best brands. For this unit, standalone, if I'm not mistaken, it's a standalone one, but for the other units outside, the aircon is not standalone units, and I'll explain more about that, okay? But yeah, just take note about this aircon first. You got fiber termination point here, its own fiber termination point. So whoever who wants to rent this unit, they can apply for their own fiber internet. Yeah, they don't need to depend. Again, not all dual key units have this. If you want to rent this type of place, right, which is what we call dual key, these are the key things to take note, which to me is very important. You have your own fiber termination point, hence you can install your own fiber, and of course you have independence of that DB. Yeah, in case you ever have to reset trip, you want to restart yourself, you can do it. Very, very nice. Look at the windows. Yeah, end-to-end wall. Extremely good. This is nice. I have to emphasize this. Nice. Really, end-to-end. Goes all the way to the end. Yeah, so you open up, you really get Very inviting. Extremely nice. Let me see. So this is what I'll call the second part of this entire mixed development, 48 acres master development. Underneath here, we'll check this out shortly. Towards the end, a quick tour. This is Ativo Plaza, very, very thriving business, I would say business center, where you have shop lots, retail lots at the bottom, and also office lots at a higher few floors. Yeah, and that is you can see actually that's the MRT track. Yeah, and this is actually the Putrajaya line. Okay, maybe the other part, you can look from the master bedroom's balcony. There is a master bedroom balcony. So that is extremely nice to have a balcony. Okay, so this is this part here. Let's not waste time. So much to check out. So this is the main unit itself. Stepping in. Again, you got your, smart system here. And this is the same model door lock, so you got two, not just one. And again, this is a high-end stuff by Samsung with the thumbprint. Your living, dining side by side looks out. Very, very big space for your kitchen. You can easily do a dry kitchen. This area, if you want to segregate, right, you want to do a tabletop island here, not an issue. All these are provided by the developer. And they're supposed to be by signature kitchen, including all this hood and hob by Bosch. And this is an induction, spell out induction. It's different from ceramic. Ceramic is not so efficient. And ceramic, after you use, right, if you touch it, ceramic essentially is direct heating element. You touch it, it's hot. Induction is actually eddy current. Yeah, so it uses different type of materials for the pots also. Induction obviously is more expensive compared, and this is a 4-burner model by Bosch. Okay. Oh, nice. So basically they suck it up. This is always better compared to the other type, is the charcoal filter one. Charcoal filter one, it sucks up, goes through a filter, and it throws back the air. So the air usually there's a inlet back into the unit. But this one sucks it up, and yeah, that's the best light essentially. You suck it up, you throw out the air as opposed to filtering the air back into the unit. Yeah. And the yard. This is a washer dryer. Yeah, and that is huge. That outdoor unit. So why is it so huge? Because this unit, right, the developer again being extremely good and generous, tip-top finishing, all these aircons that you see here is actually multi-split unit system. Yeah. What does it mean? It means you have multiple indoor units, this indoor unit, but only a single outdoor compressor. Yeah, this is what we call by multi-split. And the benefits of this multi-split, obviously, it's much more efficient because you only got a single, although it's a bigger one, you only got a single one running, the outdoor unit. And of course, it saves space. Yeah, so in general, these are multi-split unit. The aircon is much more expensive, yeah, if you have a multi-split one. You can't tell from this just by looking at this. Of course, the model itself you can identify, but once you look at the outdoor unit just now, then you can immediately identify a multi-split one. It's the living room. So very, very nice. Again, you have a nice view looking out into, this looks into Bandar Sri Damansara. Yeah. So got quite a nice view, low rise, yeah, unblocked view. Right? Unblocked. This part they're going to build some high rise, but for this part here, it's all unblocked. And this is the study area. Yeah. Quite nice if you ask me, this study area. So it's not a bedroom, obviously there's no walls. And actually inside this law, right, which is what we call a UBBL, Uniform Building Bylaws, there's actually a certain standard for this to be a bedroom. By right, with this size, actually, if they close it up, it can be a bedroom, it can qualify for a bedroom. So the main criteria for a place inside a unit to qualify as a bedroom, right, is actually the ceiling height. I can't recall the ceiling height. I think it's 2.5 if I'm not mistaken. This obviously is way more than 2.5. The second one is actually the size. So for master bedroom, it has to be 11 square meters or 110 square feet. The second biggest bedroom has to be 9.3 square meters, and the smallest one 6.5 square meters, which is essentially 65 square feet plus minus. This is, I think, is more than 65. It's quite big lah. Yeah, you can see. So you can actually, the developer could have easily just closed it up and declared it as a room, but they did not. Yeah, this is a study area. Usually why they declare as a study area, right, is because it does not meet the requirements. Yeah, it's a bit awkward, the shape. But this one actually developer could have easily done that if they want. They could have easily just made this bedroom. Nevertheless, very, very nice space. Again, this is supposed to be a study area. I would really appreciate it, or it's just a chill out zone. For me, probably this is, if you got kids, or work from home, you can do, yeah, nice place, right? Left, right, you know, for a couple to do their work, and even there maybe for kids to study. You have aircon here, so you can easily enclose this place, do sliding door. Yeah, see-through sliding door, it'll be beautiful. Okay, what else? Bathroom. Okay, it's very similar. I'm not going to go through. Of course, similar fittings. Yeah, rain shower also for this common bathroom. Very nice. Very rare do you get a rain shower for this common bathroom, and full-size mirror. Yeah. Just the bedroom. Again, all these are provided. And you got side to side, wall to wall, essentially. Yeah, very nice. And of course, they give you not just the normal windows itself at the bottom, also more light. It's more expensive to have an exterior with glass window panels, yeah, than to have solid bricks. Solid bricks is actually cheaper. That's why cheaper developments, you know, those entry level, lower cost housing, they always give you small windows because it's always cheaper. Bricks is always cheaper. Why? You need to have stronger structure. You think about it, right? The more windows you have, right? Actually, all this on top has to be stronger. The reinforcement, and yeah, glass by material itself, together with the frame, the window frame, is going to be more expensive than solid bricks. So high-end developments they always give you bigger openings, be it doors or windows, all this. They give you more of that as opposed to solid bricks. This is the master bedroom. Yeah, again, very, very nice. I somehow really like this. This reminds me of five-star hotels. Five-star hotels, you will have this, yeah, where you see through. It brings in natural light also. So during the day, if you don't want to switch on the light inside the bathroom, you can just take a bath, no issues, right? You get and you utilize natural light. This is is it noisy? Okay, they're constructing beside, but I hope I'm still clear, my voice. Built-in wardrobe, nice, yeah. And this is the bathroom. His and hers. They managed to squeeze in his and hers for this. Also by Roca, goes without saying. Yeah, and then this extra side here where you can put all your facial and so on. Water closet. And of course, this is the shower itself. Balcony. Yes. So right at the corner, very nice unit, and you have what highway do you have? this is basically an extension of LDP. This side is basically the toll. Then essentially leads to MR2. You got of course the MRT train tracks there. And as I said, you can cross over. There's a bridge from this side, the pedestrian bridge, to cross over to the other side. And from this train station, right, this is basically the Bandar Sri Damansara Central. It is about 14, if I'm not mistaken, or 15 stations to city centre. Yeah, TRX, Persian KLTC. So same line, you don't need to interchange. Okay, yes, that's about it. The review for this particular unit. If you're interested to get a unit here, really, this one I have to emphasize, reach out to Keith and Joyce, because they are not just agents, they are also owners. They are staying here. So they really specialize in this particular development, have been transacting ever since VP, more than 100 transactions under their name, buy, rent, sell, under their name. So yes, do reach out to Joyce or Kit. Their contact is below in the description. Now let's take a quick tour of another unit before we tour the facilities. Let's go. Okay, this is the second unit that we're going to review, a quick review. This is essentially a Type B, 607 square feet. Very similar to the other one. You've got a smart intercom system here with video capabilities. How rare do you get this? Again, I want to emphasize this is extremely rare by Comelit. At the entrance here, you got space for a shoe cabinet if you want to do a shoe cabinet. Yeah. And stepping in, again, electronic door lock by Samsung, high-end model with biometrics. Immediately to my right, you got space to do your laundry. This is a washer dryer. Into this is the bathroom, which we'll check out when we go through the room. Yeah. So this is the kitchen area. All these again provided by the developer. These fittings. Bosch fridge, and behind this door you got a storeroom. So usually the challenges of a one bedroom or studio unit, right, is they lack storage space. Yeah, unlike a traditional unit, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, usually you have the yard area, and that you can convert it somewhat into a storage. This, they give you a sizable storage. So if you do the rack up, right, left and right, you can get quite a fair bit of storage here. Yeah. This is the living room. Sizable window panel looking out. And this is the bedroom. I love this bedroom. Why? They're giving sliding doors. So sliding doors obviously saves a lot of space. You can just tuck it away, whenever you don't need them. You've got such a big opening into your bedroom. So on a daily basis, most of the time you can just leave it open, right? And when you have guests over, visitors over, you don't want to go through, you want to keep your privacy, right? You can just close it, you can lock it, covers off, yeah? Just like a normal wall, okay? Very, very popular in Europe, sliding doors. Not too popular here in Malaysia for whatever reasons, but it is extremely nice. Look at that. And then you got different material for your bedroom, just like the other unit. So it's a clear demarcation of area also, but on a normal basis, opens up so nice. Yeah. Look at that. And again, wall to wall. Okay, oh, sorry, not wall to wall. So this is not so nice, but still you get, okay, to be fair, you still get very, very big window panels. Yeah, you still get very sizable window panels. And this way I was saying, right, the bigger the window it is, the more premium. This looks towards Desa Park City. Yeah. The built-in wardrobe, left and right. So we're living as a couple, his, hers. And the bathroom. So this bathroom, also all by Roca standard. Yeah, that's it. Then this one leads out to that area where you do your laundry. So yes, again, if you're interested to get a unit here, do reach out to Keith and Joyce. Extremely experienced, have been transacting here since VP. More than 100 units under their name. let's head down to check out the facilities. Let's go. Okay, we are back on level 37 and we start off the facilities tour with this part here. This is essentially the sky facilities. Yeah, extremely nice view, which I'll go through. So if you recall correctly, we had units on that part there, and half of it here now is all facilities. Yeah, we start with this quick one. This is essentially for the washroom. So for the male washroom, look at that. Nice. Okay. So of course air guard, just a slight reminder of the good stuff that these people are using. Air guard also is very, very brandy. It's supposed to be a hair dryer. And you have, of course, you have a disabled toilet there. Yeah, and this side here is a female accessibility ramp. If you want to go up, yeah. This is the facility. So half of it are units. This is the one that we were reviewing. You can see it's huge, right? And there's a break in between. I was saying that this is sort of a bungalow concept, and all these are the facilities, yeah, for this particular floor. So of course you got a sky pool. This is supposed to be a BBQ area. Okay, it's covered there. That's the sign, BBQ. They provide a BBQ pit. You got some sittings here. It's covered, more than enough space to sit. Extremely nice view. This view, okay, today is a little bit off, unfortunately. But on a brighter day, you really get a nice view. You can even see, the likes of your Merdeka 118. Yeah, and all this low rise here. This is essentially Desa Park City. Yeah, all these nice houses here. This is Desa Park City. And that is, of course, LDP that hits towards PJ. Okay. Very, very windy. This is the pool. Yeah. And then you have this sort of a outdoor sky bar. Yeah. Again, all this is available for rent. You can rent this. You have sound system there also, so you can actually plug in your own music. You can really pump this place up, and get a nice vibe. All these basically are very nice also. All these are supposed to be lighted. Yeah, look at this. All these once it lights up and it's extremely nice. I'll try to, okay, I will get photo for you. Okay. So yes, this is how it looks at night. This place. Yeah. Very, very nice. Okay, that's about it. Let's go down to the main facilities floor on level 10. Let's go. Stepping up the lift, we are on the 10th floor. So besides the facilities, you also have a number of units here for both blocks, A and B. Of course, you have to access via access card for security. Squash court. This is something rare. Very rare do you have a squash court. And this multi-purpose hall. So this multi-purpose hall, also doubles as a basketball. You got a half-court basketball court, multi-purpose hall also, and you have 2 badminton courts. Yeah. So usually, right, for most of my videos, the video always ends on the facilities floor. Please still stay to the end. There's much more than the facilities. After these facilities, we'll be visiting the retail component. Yeah, and I'll show you how intertwined and integrated. You'll be surprised. Okay, so just stay to the end. Trust me, very, very pleasant surprise towards the end. BBQ area there also, but this obviously isn't as sexy as the one that you had on the Sky Terrace. Wading pool for kids, chill out zone. You got your pool here. A few cabanas. Gym is up there. Kids playground. This is sort of a Tai Chi area. That's what they call it. Yeah. Zen zone. And this is food preparation area. Again, very, very nice area, lounge to chill. And above this is where you can head up to your gym. Okay, there are G2. And what's interesting about this part, right, where you can head up to the gym, is that you actually have a, okay, I'm not sure if this is the right term, but you have a disabled escalator or lift. How often do you find this? Yeah, so actually, if you notice right throughout the development, very, very well thought of, very disabled friendly. You have all these guides. Yeah, this is basically for those disabled on wheelchair. And for stairs, of course, you always have accessibility ramp. In this instance, there's no accessibility ramp. They give you a lift. Okay, so extremely cool. For those who are disabled, let's head up. Okay, towards the top. So this is 2-in-1. Besides doing your gym stuff, I think there's also yoga space within this space. Yeah. But a lot of people, nice Saturday morning, so I'm not going to bug them. Let's head back down. Okay, continuing on, kids playground here. And yeah, always like these perforated blocks. So actually, if you notice, right, this is also available for the external facade. So very, very, the emergency stairs there. Very, very nice. You get a lot of ventilation. This is the male. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, it's a bit dark here. Let me switch on the lights first. Yes. So, lockers. And besides lockers, you got a steam room and a sauna room. Yeah. Oops, that's loud. You got speakers inside for pipe music. I don't know. I haven't seen speakers inside, to be honest. And they got this, right, to directly put in some water. And hence, wets the stone and you have some moist steam room and sauna room. Very, very rare do you have both, actually, especially steam room. Steam room is so much more expensive to maintain compared to a sauna. So you have sauna, usually, you will not have steam room. Of course, pros and cons for both steam and sauna. Okay, surround. We take off our slippers and we step in. Tempat duduk. There's the lights. There's the lights. Ooh, nice. Big area. You can switch on the aircon. Yeah, and you got a lot of natural light coming in. I missed the lights. Where's the lights? Oh, it's here. Nevertheless, yeah. Right. Okay. Let's head back up. Female one. Again, accessibility ramp. Got putting green. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is a yoga, but it's a bit long, and of course you got reflexology. And then this was the ventilated perforated bricks that I was talking about, which gives a very nice facade to the building. Okay, so we're not done yet. As I said, there's something interesting to explore. We're going to go to level 2, yeah, and level 2, you will actually be able to cross over to Ativo Plaza, yeah, where you have all your shop lots there, and also a host of decent, good brands, yeah. You even have a bank, actually. So yes, without further ado, let's head to level 2. Let's go. Okay, stepping out of the lift. As what I promised you, level 2. This is where the true magic of this particular whole development, right? Not just Ativo Suites, but this larger development of Damansara Avenue really matters. Because if you recall, at the start of our video, right, of course there, you can see that's the guardhouse, that's where we entered. Underneath is the lobby, yeah? And if you remember, there's this iconic At night, it lights up beautifully. This white structure here, it looks within the development. You assume that it's a facility. No, it's not a facility. It is a thriving F&B business, and it's well connected directly from the second floor. Yeah. So what I really like about this type of business, right, is that because it's open to public, yeah, you get a good traffic flow, you get good footfall, and hence it can thrive. So you got a good F&B well within, in a way, within your compound, easy to access. This is Gaia, by the way. You can check it out on Google Maps. A couple of hundred of reviews, highly rated, 4-star plus. You got grind and ground. So this whole place, there are a few shop lots here on this level 2. All these are open to the public, and you got this stairs which leads to Ativo Plaza. There's even more shop lots there. So, okay, maybe I'm talking too fast. I hope you can comprehend. Level 2, you come down. Here, you got good stuff. You got nails, you got F&B, and these are really decent F&Bs. They don't just cater to residents. It's accessible to the public. Public can come, they can park at this part here, Ativo Place. Ativo Plaza, sorry, this is Ativo Plaza. This part here, these few shop lots is Ativo Place. Yeah. Look at that. Of course, this is a very pet-friendly place also. So you have a dog there. You can bring your pets here. It's perfectly fine. Really very pet-friendly. And this whole Ativo Place, couple of stories, quite high up, 8 stories actually. And you got a lot of F&Bs. So it's really thriving. Yeah. Besides F&Bs, what else you have? You have a dentist, you have a clinic, you have, of course, nails, like what I mentioned. Hero Supermarket is just around, it's just behind this. Yeah, this, and it takes out a lot of, you can see people carrying plastic bags, right? Vegetables. So, at Hero Supermarket, okay, let's just walk the front there so I think you get a better idea of this whole place. Okay. So we came from there, that small area, Ativo Place. This, you got Hero Supermarket here, and Hero Supermarket is huge. So you can do groceries, you got Watson, you even got a bank. And if you got a bank, right, that tells you the scale of the commercial. Banks is usually one of the last to enter, yeah, for a residential place. If a bank can enter, means there's a lot of potential that they see in this particular development. There's a huge market, you know, customers to serve when you have banks. As I said, you got clinic, a lot of F&Bs, Subway. No, I will not go on, right? Because it's just too much to see. And this is just the first phase of the commercial. You got a shopping mall which is coming up, and that shopping mall is actually going to be connected to your MRT station. The structure's already there. Yeah, I think for the final closing, right, let's go towards the F&Bs, the shop lots at the back. Take a quick glance of the upcoming phase. Okay, we are towards this part here. This is where you can bring your pets for a run, for a walk. We were there moments ago. This leads up to the level 2 of Ativo Place. And behind here is where you have all your shop lots, right, that I was mentioning. So the last part I wanted to mention, truly integrated development. Again, this whole master plan. This is the upcoming mall that you see here. Yeah, including Amaya Residence, the 3rd phase. And that structure here, this structure here you see, this is basically ready to connect. It will connect directly to the mall. There's a link bridge across, which crosses the highway to Bandar Sri Damansara Central MRT station. Yeah, and this is the MRT station which leads directly, the same line leads to the city centre. Yeah, the likes of TRX Residence, Persian KLCC, 14, 15 stations. Yeah. So yes, that's it. That's the review for this particular property here, Ativo at Damansara Avenue, part of a larger integrated development. What do I think? Connectivity, yeah, integrated is so well integrated. If I have anything to emphasize, right, I can't help but to emphasize that this is a well integrated development. You imagine you come back home at night. Yeah, you go back, once you park your car, you do not need to drive out. You can literally come down, live, you can have F&Bs already. Level 2 is connected. Yeah, even if you don't want to cross this area there, within there itself, you got grind and ground, you got kaya, and you got so much more other facilities here. It's not just F&B. If you have kids, beautiful, because that's one of the main selling points for this place. Yeah, you got kids, you got a lot of kids enrichment activities here. You got tuition, daycare. So it's really very well integrated. And of course, upcoming, as I said, you got this huge mall coming up, direct connectivity to an MRT station. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot more. As I said, I'm not going to go through just too much retail shop lots, but I hope you get the idea. So what do you think? Would you buy a place? This is certainly a well-thriving place, project by TA Global. And of course, if you're really interested to get a unit here, not just for Ativo Suites in particular, even the first phase, yeah, Azilia, you can reach out to the power couple, Joyce and Keith. Both of them have been serving this community, this whole building here since VP. That's a couple of years, more than 100 transactions to their name, yeah, renting out and selling, yeah. So yes, do smash the like button. If you found this video useful, feel free to share it with your friends and family. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.